Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. It was a very exciting day, probably one of the best days or most exciting days of the year in a positive way, because we've had a lot of exciting days that hadn't gone well, especially back in March. So I have a list of stuff I'm going to run down, but the most important one is Tesla. 14 weeks ago, I told you that this could happen, and today it did, or at least we got the announcement that it will in December. So right now, hit the share button. I'm posting this just a little bit early because I want more people to see it. It's Monday Night Football, so I want to kind of avoid that and stay out of the 10 o'clock window. So make sure you hit the share button now. If you haven't liked the page, like it now. If you hadn't been to the Investors Toolkit, check it now. You're going to see why that is so important. All right, so starting from the top this morning, the entire thing got kicked off with Moderna announcing that they now have a vaccine that is close to 95% effective. I think it's 94.5% to be exact. Last week, we heard from Pfizer. They said they have one at 90%. The funny thing is, it seems like every Monday, at least now, 2 Mondays in a row, we get some great news. We hit a high in one of the bigger indexes. I think last week, indices. Last week, we had the S&P 500. Today, we had the Dow at one point. And that's all great news. That means that we are getting closer to seeing an end to the pandemic, which is great for all of us from a health and mental health standpoint, but also for the stock market. So you saw clearly Moderna was up, I think, close to 10% today. I think Pfizer was down at least at one point today. Then you had a lot of the travel stocks were up, and it makes sense. The sooner we move to a vaccine and everyone starts to take the medicine and COVID is eradicated, more people are going to travel. I will be one of those. I don't know if I will be the first one of those, but I will be one of those. So, people are going to ask me, what do you think about the travel stocks? I'm more optimistic now than where I was, let's say, 6 months ago. I'm not, going so hard for those. I still think there are other things out there, but they are going to jump. I'm going to tell you now, those are going to be where everybody's going to be looking right now. I'm still not 100% certain on that. Now, where do I stand between Pfizer and Moderna? Because this is another question that people are going to ask me. I did not invest in either of them. I think they're both good, right? There are no red flags with either. I would say in terms of growth for now into the future, I think Pfizer is more of a freight train where it's going to get you some consistent growth from now on. Even before, I used to invest in Pfizer. I had it a while back, but it's slow, but it gets there. You're going to get some good dividends. It's going to be solid. It ain't going bankrupt. They're going to be around. Moderna is more like a race car. It'll get you there a whole lot faster. It's going to be a much more exciting ride. Now, even though we know that we're going to get millions of doses, first the healthcare workers, and it's kind of phase through the market, it could be a while before we see this. I'm not here to tell you that everything's all green and both are going to take off. I don't know how these stocks are going to react to each other and how, if something bad happens with a vaccine, meaning, you're not shipping it out enough, you can't make enough, something happens in the supply chain, a business issue, I'm not sure how it's going to react. Johnson & Johnson is still out there. I chose out of those three, and we did a video on all the companies that were in the running for this. I chose Johnson & Johnson. Right now, I'm not right per se, but Johnson & Johnson is still a good stock. The reason I picked it is because it had a downside hedge, meaning if they don't come up with the vaccine first, they still got other stuff. So I'm still buying diapers, and so is everybody once they start having these quarantine kids, which you will see very soon. So that's how I took it. Again, there are no wrong choices, I think, between the three of those, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, and Pfizer. But the key here is if you were going to do it and you were looking for something that was going to rise in a vaccine, or should a vaccine be found, you should have did it weeks ago. That's why you want to buy when it's a bit lower in anticipation for these things. You want to make sure that anticipation is accurate, not just, oh, I hope this random company is going to do it. We've been covering these for a while, and it's up to you to choose which one you're going to like, or which one you choose and which one you like the most. I talk about which ones I choose. You see what I have on public, but also if you're in the Investors Toolkit, you get my list every single month to give you an even better idea of what I think are some of the best things out there. All right, so that's number one. I got my notes here. I'm going to do Tesla last. It's a big earnings week. Walmart announces earnings along with NIO, which is a company we had talked about. It's the Chinese electric vehicle maker. It's been very, very hot over the last year, really, but especially over the last, I would say, 6 months. I'm not a fan of it now. I mean, it's been doing some crazy stuff. It was like less than $2 a year ago, and now it's up to like 40, and it'll probably 50 by the time you watch this. But they announced earnings. It can move. That's all I'm gonna say. It could be very good or very bad, but it's gonna be a double. In my view, it's gonna be a double-digit move tomorrow. You got Target announces earnings, and Nvidia, one of my favorite stocks, one of the better stocks, especially in the tech space. They announced earnings too, so we know how earnings can go. Perhaps we'll cover it. We'll see because everything's moving so quickly. So be careful of that. Walmart, which is on the board, Walmart hit an all-time high today. I've been telling y'all about Walmart as well as Dollar General for a while now because it's, I don't like to say pandemic proof, but it's in the perfect space where it benefits from people going out and shopping more, number one. It benefits from Black Friday and all the holiday shopping, and it benefits should COVID continue. So no matter what's going to happen, people are going to go outside. They're going to end up at Walmart. You want to go and travel, you're going to end up at Walmart to get your coolers and all the stuff you need for the road trip or the plane flight, the flight, all that stuff. You're going to end up at Walmart either way. You stay at home, you're ordering from Walmart.com. You're not really getting around Walmart, which why I hit an all-time high. Now, they announced earnings. So, I don't predict what happens on earnings. It could be very good. It could be very bad because the market tends to overreact. But we've been talking about Walmart for a while. It was on my watch list. This is one reason why I switched out last quarter. We switched out Kroger for Walmart for this exact reason. I think it is very, very good and will continue to do well. If you scratch COVID out of this, I still think it's going to do well because you still got the holiday season coming up. All right, so that was that one. And then Airbnb is going public. I feel better about it now than what I did, let's say 4 or 5 weeks ago, because we were still in the midst of it. COVID numbers are still up, so the market's still going to react to that. That just because we got great news, just like we saw with Pfizer last week, and then it kind of tapered off a bit, that could still happen. I don't know that for a fact, but we saw what happened last week. It could be similar this week. Until the vaccine is widely available to everyone, you still are going to be at the mercy of the potential stimulus and what the COVID numbers are doing right now. And closures. Some states are also closed. That's going to affect companies right now. It's going to affect the economy, especially in those states right now. The vaccine is down the line. It'll be 2021 before we can declare this thing over. So you want to watch out for that. But again, Airbnb is going public. I really don't do too many IPOs. We'll see. We'll see. So I'll just keep an eye on. We'll cover it as it gets closer, and y'all can make a decision. All right. So now we've got all the news and notes out the way. Now to Tesla. Tesla is going to be added to the S&P 500. They announced this today. They're going to be in the S&P 500 in December. I told you 14 weeks ago, I posted a video on Instagram. I posted the video here on Facebook. Again, I'll probably be posting it via email, so make sure you're on the email list. This is huge. This is huge for Tesla, and it's why I talked about it 14 weeks ago because of the potential of what this could mean. When they did the stock split, that was one reason everybody's like, oh, should I get in now? What should I do for a stock split? And I said, the stock split is fine. And for those that don't know, is when you take a larger price and you split it into smaller pieces, it makes the company more attractive. It makes more people buy generally. So at that point in time, I'm like, yeah, the stock split is fine. I'm trying to get in before they get added to the S&P 500. That's why I did it 14 weeks ago back in, August 10th, I think was 14 weeks from today. Just days, actually like 6 or 7 days before my daughter was born. So this is why you do those things early, is why we talk about things early, is why I talk about Black Friday stocks a month ago, right? Is why I talked about vaccine stocks 2 months ago, is why I talked about Tesla 14 weeks ago, so you can understand what's going to happen before it happens. Am I perfect? No, but you can check the receipt. You can go back to the videos. You can check our watch list. I am right more often than not. And I'm here to tell you again, you should have listened 14 weeks ago. Now, if you want to go invest in it now, feel free, go ahead, you assess your risk and see what works for you. But the reason why it's important is back at the time, if I'm quoting it correctly, at the time we posted that video, Tesla was at, and this is adjusting for the stock split, at like 280 something dollars. Now it's above 400, and tomorrow it is poised to be above 10%, and we'll see where it goes. The reason why this is important is because index funds are the biggest store of wealth in the market, meaning your 401k is in somebody's index fund. My money, the majority of my own personal money is in index funds. Everybody is in some sort of index fund, which means if it has to have the S&P 500 and Tesla gets added, these trillion-dollar funds with a T have to buy Tesla. And because you have to do that, that fund, it has to push the stock forward. Now, I'm not here to say it's going to be a rocket ship and it's going to go to 1,000 tomorrow. I don't know where it's going to go. Elon Musk is still Elon Musk, so it can still be a crazy ride, but it's a very good thing for Tesla. It gives them a badge of prestige, if you will. It's going to raise the price in some fashion, and it's going to stabilize it to a degree. We'll see what happens in the very near future. This is very, very good news. I am glad that I convinced myself to invest in it. I'm still not a fan of Elon Musk, but they are profitable now. It's starting to make more business sense, and we'll see where it goes. But again, this is why I tell you guys about the Investors Toolkit. It's been on our watch list because I give one every month to my students. This is why we talk about it. This is why we invest early and often. Now, you may also be asking, well, like, should I get in now? Should I get in later? Should I get in after they get added? That's totally up to you. But what I did and what I tell y'all to do, because I practice what I preach, is I put in like $25, I think it was, every 2 weeks from the time I posted that video, so that I don't have to sit here and guess when is the best time, what day are they going to be added. Like now, everybody knows. So tomorrow morning, everybody's going to be on Tesla, and in theory, it would pop. Guess what? I got back in months ago, and 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna get in again. And 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna get in again, and just I'm systematically doing it the same way I tell y'all here Monday through Friday, and the same thing that I teach my students. You want to be very process oriented. You don't want to just jump at stuff because everybody else is jumping at stuff, and you want to be patient because several weeks ago, it did not get added. The first time that they had the opportunity to be added, they did not get added. People were disappointed. I was like, hey, I'm gonna hold on to it because you still got opportunities. And this is why. All right, so before we go, again, I'm really excited. A lot of news across the board. We will be following a lot of these big stories. You wanna make sure that you hit the share button, click the like button. You definitely want to do that to stay in touch with all the stuff that's going on. But also, if you have not done it yet, you want to check out the Investors Toolkit. In fact, you have to check out the Investors Toolkit, because if you just thought this was great, like, oh yeah, he talked about Tesla 14 weeks ago, you could have made a lot of money, almost double, close to double. Imagine what you would do if you had me dedicated teaching you how to find these things on your own and give you my personal list every single month, but also, most importantly, help you to avoid terrible stocks. That's my specialty, in helping you to avoid the big mistakes, the ones that people don't actually come back from. The $22,000 mistake that average investors made back in March of this year. You want to make sure that you sign up. Make sure you click the link above or below, depending on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you may be. It's buildingbread.com/tools. I'm telling you, you are going to enjoy it. We have tons of students really across the world at this point that enjoy the course. You get access to me, you can ask questions, and you can start to invest like a top 100 financial advisor. All right, that is it for me. I'll talk to you guys later or tomorrow or maybe later today. Who knows? It's just a lot going on, but you will definitely see me at least tomorrow. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.